I'm very interested in Tsarukyan. I got to see his fight with Charles up close. And I get it now on Charles. I get why you guys love him. I get why he's so good. And I share that perspective because it was a big eye-opening moment for me. And Arman beat him. So you can imagine now how good Arman looks. And then when you get the backstory on Tsarukyan, and you're going to have to tell people the backstory. Like, Arman is so close to this, he's not going to be able to see that. He's not going to know that the average fan does not know he's already fought Islam. As a matter of fact, the average UFC fan doesn't know he fought Islam. It's just one of those things where that match happened, it was a different time. They don't know he took it on short notice. See, this is what's so relevant. If they don't even know that they fought him, and whether you accept that as absolute truth or not, but if I get you close, well, then if I back off and say, fought him on short notice, of course you're not going to know. If I tell you he fought him on short notice in 5 rounds and won rounds, they're not going to know that. It's a very interesting match. Tsarukyan versus Islam in a rematch where Arman has notice. And the reason I tell you that is it was a surprise for me when Tsarukyan turned the fight down that Dustin just got done doing with Islam. It's a surprise because we know he's willing to do things on short notice. In fact, we know he's willing to fight Islam on short notice. In fact, we know he's willing to fight Islam on short notice for 5 rounds. He's already done all of these things. And it's hard to get Islam interested in a rematch. We know that because Islam doesn't tell us very much, but he told us that. It's one of the only things he's ever told us. I don't want to do rematches. So now we know we got a little bit of an uphill battle here. And when the number 1 contendership came down to Charles versus Tsarukyan, who had both already fought Islam, like Islam's going to have to deal with that whole rematch thing he doesn't want to deal with, one way or the other. So my guess was if you can get Islam on board and you can get the promotion there, boom, you run with the fight. But it was actually Tsarukyan that said, pause. I want to do it right. I want just a little bit more time. Now, there's not a whole lot that can go bad for Arman at 155 pounds. Like just the way that division's kind of changed, where Gaethje took a loss, Poirier moved in a different direction, but now comes off that board. And what's Charles going to do? Volkanovski has moved back down. Like there's not a lot that you can do in terms of changing the landscape to make an argument that perhaps Tsarukyan is not next. There's not a lot, but there are things. I mean, by example, just a narrative, just an idea of another 55-pounder. That and that alone puts that 55-pounder in the finals against Tsarukyan. Right? Like, if you're going to the media, Tsarukyan's already there to take on Islam next, but that's not hot. You can't find that headline. If you were to find a headline, it would say that, but it's not red hot. So that's where I'm at. If any 55-pounder just says it, he puts himself head-to-head with Arman, and when you turn to Islam in the ring, who doesn't call you out, that's where the beginning of the problems are, right? Like, this doesn't have any more momentum, but it's got all the pieces that, if it had momentum, could really go in a different direction. You guys will remember. But Merab confronted Sean O'Malley after 299. O'Malley beats Cheeto, gets the microphone, calls out Ilia Topuria, doesn't even address Merab, who's in the front row, hoping to pop in there and have a face-to-face. Merab gets to the back and says, say my name. Merab was not talking trash. Merab was legitimately realizing, hey, you didn't say my name. You said you'd fight me. You called me the short guy, and you called me the so-and-so, but you didn't say my name. You left me. I got left out. I've flown here. I was the backup fighter. He was being very sincere when he told Sean, say my name. So there is no steam added to Islam versus Arman. None. And whatever that was and however you felt about it, okay, great. But nothing got added over the weekend. Now the good news for Arman and company is nobody else has inserted themselves, so he's still sitting in a pretty good position, but Islam's making it pretty clear I'd like to go to 170. Now, you're not going to go to 170. It's got to be, something's got to be on that, right? It's got to be something special. Now, it could be personal. It could be a call out. It could be me versus you, Leon, and you know what this is about, and so do I. And this is the match. I don't want anybody else. I want Leon. That is very different, but that's just not what happened. So when you float the idea of 170, say this is what I would like, you're now essentially telling the decision makers that this is your request. It's very different. You're not going to get the fans behind you. Like no fan is going to the internet and going, oh my gosh, did you see what Islam said about Leon? Did you see? Oh my God. Well, what did he say? No, I missed it. Well, he didn't say Islam specifically, or Leon, but he said he wanted to go to 170 where Leon, and that's Leon's weight. So, I mean, it's like he was, boy, it's just like he was calling Leon out. Well, wait a minute. Did he call Leon out or not? Well, no, but he said that he liked to move up. I mean, do you see where it changes? And I'm only suggesting for you, at some point, Islam's not going to make 155, guys. And that cost Khabib his career. I mean, that's the one thing that when they were renegotiating with Khabib, they failed to understand and did not address, which was, my days of training are not behind me. My days of living this lifestyle and being part of this sport and coming to these events, none of these things are behind me. My days of being great and having that competitive hunger, none of those things are behind me. My days of weighing in at 155 pounds are gone. And I don't know that you would have got Khabib for number 30 or not. I don't know. But I will share for you, you would have got yourself further down the line in the conversation had you understood that was one of the big problems, if not number one. And it's the same with most combat athletes. They'll retire and they'll hang their hat on something. But the truth is, it's the scale. That's the truth. Nothing makes guys retire more than that. But a lot of times the guy's not aware. The guy doesn't even know that about himself. He'll talk about, well, the trainer, the lifestyle, I'm getting older. Well, it's not the training and the lifestyle. It's the training and the lifestyle in a calorie deficit to make the weight class. I mean, I'm sharing this with you because it's not an option of is Islam going to go to 170? Yes, for sure. Or you might end up doing what we did to Khabib, where it just retires him completely. So I think we should embrace that idea. Whether it's upon us and we're there or not, it's one of these things where as much as Islam is being sweet and kind as he says it, right now he's asking you. But there's going to come a time where he tells you. And if you tell him no, you might get a result that you're not planning on.